Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Board Game Heaven Talks Accessories, and in this video I'll be taking a look at the Laserox Legendary Insert, which is this one for Marvel's Legendary deck building game, and the Legendary Expansion Insert, which fits the Dark City box or any similar sized expansion box. And there's enough room in these for whatever expansions you may have, so we'll take a look at how this is put together. I'll show you how it all fits in the boxes, and I'll give you my final thoughts. All right, so let's start with the Legendary Insert for the core game, core box, which is pretty straightforward. It's basically just a divider with lots of smaller dividers in it where you can put your cards. So let's just open that up. There are 4 sheets of laser cut wood, and they come out very easily. As you can see, you just twist them like so, and this is the instruction, and basically tells you what to do. So they number everything, and you get 2 of these and 2 of these, and it's pretty straightforward. There's 2 outer walls, 2 inner walls, 2 of these walls, and they all have these notches in them for dividers. There are several dividers that come with the insert. So there's 2 here times 2, that's 4. There's 3 here, so that's another 6. So you get 10 dividers with this, but I did grab several extra because, you know, there's a lot of cards, and I have several expansions, and also for the expansion insert I could use some more, so you can get those separately as well, and then just, you know, get as many as you need depending on how many you have. And of course, if you have multiple of these expansion boxes, you can simply also get multiple of these if you have a very large collection. So let's just press these out and get started. So I've already pressed everything out and kind of just put it together loosely like this. So it's easiest to start, as the instructions also tell you, with this these middle pieces. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put these 4 together, then this part, this T section and this T section, put those into the middle section, and then attach the other sides of the board, so these 2 last. That seems to be the most logical and easy way to do it. So I'll just put this to the side here and this over here, and then just start with this. So all you need to do is just add a dab of glue, not a lot, just a little, into recessed areas, like so. And just put those in the outer 2 walls. It won't fit here because, as you can see, this is a little higher, this slot, than these, so you wouldn't be able to fit it here. So that's good. I like that they do that, because that way you can't accidentally glue it into the wrong spot. And I just use a rubber hammer to tap it all in place. You can get these from Laserox as well in their store. And just make sure you tap that in very well, just very tightly, so that, you know, the entire insert will be nice and compact and fit into your box. That's the center done. And of course, all of the dividers sit in loose, so this is gonna sit here, and you know, you can just take them out, and you can see, because of these rounded edges All of these dividers have rounded edges. These slots have rounded edges. Whenever you encounter a rounded edge, then that means you do not glue it, because that way you can just, you know, put them in and take them out and put them anywhere you want. All right, let's continue. And these go with the taller side on the outside, because this will hold the game board in place, as well as these notches here. So the game board will sit in the middle on top of all of this. So I didn't want to tap this, but fortunately I can actually just press this in. And maybe I can give this a slight tap carefully, because I don't want to break anything. And that seems to work quite nicely. So once you have all of this together and you put one of these in, it becomes very stable and very strong. So it's not that hard to put together anymore. So the final bit is simply applying some glue. I do apply a good bit of glue to the outer sides, because I want that to be very solid. I don't want that to fall apart. Now, of course, once it's in the box, it's not going anywhere anymore, so it won't fall apart. But yeah, I just want these outer walls to be very sturdy. So yeah, there we go. That's plenty of glue. I'm gonna put the Laserox logo on the inside so I can actually still see it when it's in the box. Of course, cards will obscure it, but otherwise you won't be able to see it at all. Not that it matters. It's everyone's preference. And just line that up. Just line that up precisely and give it a slight tap. You don't have to tap it all the way in right away. Just make sure that it fits. And once you've done that, you can start tapping away. And there you go. The Legendary Insert. All right, so that looks pretty simple and straightforward. You can fit in cards here, and that way in here, and in the middle you've got some extra room for bits and bobs, for tokens, whatnot. And so yeah, I like that they did this, because these dividers, basically the insert, isn't big enough to have 3 rows of cards next to each other. That won't fit, especially if you sleeve them. So they've got cards here and here, and they just turned this around and made notches in the sides here and added these, so you can still put cards here and here as well. You know, that's optimal usage of the space that they have in this. And then you can just slide in these dividers anywhere you want. You don't have to glue them. Works really nicely. So yeah, that's basically how you put it together. It's quite simple. And I'll continue with the expansion insert, which is more or less the same. It's just a smaller version. And then I'll put everything inside the boxes and show you how that fits. So you start with the middle bit, which is this. Then you take 2 dividers with these notches in it. It's slightly asymmetrical, probably because one side has cards and the other side does not. So you just, yeah, it doesn't matter how you do that. You just put this in here, and then this in here. It has to be on the same side though, of course, otherwise it will be crooked. So that goes there. And once that is together, you can put in the outer walls, the longer walls. So this. And you have to make sure though that these notches are on one of the sides, so I'll have to figure out, I can use one of the dividers, and it's probably gonna be the wider side, because that makes sense. If I put this here, yeah, that's it. So if you put on this wall, it has to be on this side. So this is the middle, this is slightly out of the middle. That means that this side is slightly longer than this side. So the cards go here, so the dividers go here, and that means that these notches also go on that same side. Which again will leave you with a pocket for, you know, other bits and bobs. And this goes here, and I think this is symmetrical, so you can just flip that around any way you want. And after you've done that, you add these and you're done. All right, let me start. So again, this won't fit any additional cards, so you can just put whatever you want in there. And then the outer walls. So this is basically, if you want to compare half of this. So, you know, with the tray cards here, here, and in the middle. And this is a bigger square version of that. So yeah, you can store a lot of cards in these inserts. So this expansion box has lower dividers than the core box. There you go. So that is something to keep in mind if you're ordering extra dividers. Make sure that you get the right ones, because they are not the same. This is for the core box, and I think all of these are for the core box, although it seems so, yeah. No, actually, no, I have different ones. I did get some different ones. Yes, it looks like that these are the smaller ones. Yep, these are for the expansion box, and these are taller. These are for the core box. So they do sell different ones. So that's something you need to pay attention to. All right, I'll show you how it all fits in the box in a second. So here is everything inside the box. This is the core box, of course, with the insert in it, as you can see. And I just went and randomly, really, just put everything in just for the video. I'll have to sort this out later. But you can, you know, use the dividers to divide several groups of heroes together, and your villains and all the cards, and use the paper dividers that you get with the game to separate the individual heroes. So that works really nicely. I used those, and I used the dividers as well. You can just organize it however you want. These are all sleeved, and that fits really nicely. I ran out of sleeves, so this is not sleeved, this part here and this part here. Some of these, I haven't even opened the Fantastic Four yet, but there is plenty of room. I just tossed the few tokens that you get in the middle here, and so that is basically it. It's really simple. This is the old insert. I had everything in these Ziploc bags. So I have a lot of Ziploc baggies now that I can use for other things. So yeah, so I can toss this out, and this looks a lot better. And then, of course, you can just take your leaflets that you get with everything. I have a bunch, and the rule book, and then just put the board on top here, because these ridges and these ridges will keep it in the middle nicely. So that sits here. So let me just put that to the side. And in the Dark City expansion box, you've got this the smaller insert. I had several of these foam things to keep everything in place, because this was the insert that came with it. It's just a cardboard thing that you can rip out. And yeah, I used these to keep everything apart. But now I can neatly organize everything. Even, you know, after I sleeve it, I'll have plenty of room left, and still have a lot of dividers for future expansions. So the only place I can't use for cards is this, because they won't fit in either direction. Unless I can put a few in like this, I guess, if I really need to. But I just put some foam in there for now. I can put in whatever. If I ever have some accessories that I want to use, I can put those there. But there is plenty of room and everything fits into the box nicely. So as you can see, I have these 3 expansions back here. I've painted Town Red, Guardians of the Galaxy, and Fantastic Four. And I just kind of divided them between the 2 boxes. And this will fit flush nicely. As you can see, I can close this completely. And the same goes for this box, of course, the Dark City box. And I do believe that there are other expansions, I forgot the name, that have a similar size, so that would fit as well. So that's everything inside the boxes. Let's go to my final thoughts. So my final thoughts on the Laserox Legendary Crate and the Legendary Expansion Crate. Well, as you saw, it's pretty easy to put this together. Fits in the box very nicely, and it also has a space for the board to sit. So I like the fact that it has these raised areas to keep the board from sliding around. So you just put it in the middle like this and it doesn't go anywhere. And it also keeps the cards in place. So that is well designed. I like that. And they made good use of the space in the box. So you've got 2 rows here and 2 rows here in the smaller expansion box as well, just for cards, which you can fill with dividers if you want to. And of course, you can also use the paper dividers that come with the game to separate all the heroes and all the villains and whatnot. And there's some extra spaces in here, so they made good use of this center row as well, here as well. You do end up with a square in both boxes that do not fit any cards. So you can put tokens in there, but the game doesn't have that many tokens. So that is a bit of a lost space there. But even if you have lots of expansions, there's plenty that you can fit into these dividers, because you're basically using most of the space of the box. And the original insert was okay, but because it was big and plastic, you do lose a lot of space. And with this, you can squeeze in some extra expansions. And yeah, I really enjoy that. You can pick up a lot of the smaller boxes and just consolidate all of that together in just those 2 boxes. And if you have more of these big box expansions, just get another one of these and maybe consolidate a couple of those into 1 box as well. So yeah, that was great. I liked putting this together. I always enjoy doing that. And Laserox's wood is also FSC certified. So the wood comes from forests that get replanted, and I think that's an important thing to note. So I'd like to thank Laserox for sending these over for me to review. And of course, I'd like to thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell icon. And if you want to support my channel, check out the Patreon page by clicking the link in the description below, or the Patreon logo at the end of this video, where you can read how to support my channel, which is greatly appreciated. You'll get access to some Patreon exclusive videos and your name in the credits of all of my videos as well. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time on Board Game Heaven.